This video, we're going to cover the Chapter 3 review problems in our pre-algebra review. These are going to cover topics in integers. First topic is going to include absolute values. An absolute value function finds the distance that the number is away from 0 on the number line. It's a special set of parentheses, so we're going to do what's inside the absolute value bars first, and then simplify, and then we'll do the subtraction that's on the outside. 8 minus 9 is going to give me a -1 inside of absolute value bars, minus 3 minus 8 is going to give me a -5 inside of absolute value bars. -1 is 1 unit away from 0. I'll leave the subtraction sign alone. -5 is 5 units away from 0 on the number line. And 1 minus 5 is going to give me a -4. We're going to do another order of operations problem here. -2 plus 4 times, add the integers that are inside the parentheses here. When we add opposite signs, we're going to take the difference of their absolute values and keep the sign of the larger. So if we had started at -3 and moved 7 to the right, we would have moved across 0 and had a difference of 4. Or if I had started at 7 and moved 3 to the left, I also would have gotten to 4. Let me show you that on a number line so you can see what I'm saying. Here's 0. Here's -3. Here's +7, right? Here's -3. Here's +7 over here. It does not matter whether I start at -3 and go 1, 2, 3. I can make that one big so you can see it. 4, 5, 6, 7. Or I start at 7 and move 1, 2, 3 to the left. Either way, I get to the same place, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 to the right of 0, so it's a +4. I really like using number lines when dealing with integers, so that you can see that it doesn't matter as long as you go the direction of the sign that goes with that number. So now we're going to have this multiplication before this addition. -2 plus 16, 4 times 4 is 16, 16 minus 2 is 14. Okay. On to problem number 11, 27 minus -4 minus 7. So now I have like signs, they're both negative. So I'm starting to the left of 0, moving further to the left of 0. So those are moving in the same direction, both to the left. So they're working together to get me to a negative on the left-hand side. 4 plus 7 is 11. Like you're playing tug of war and there's a negative team and there's a positive team, these are both pulling towards the negative direction. Pulling in the same direction, I'm going to get more pull that way. Now I've got a negative outside here. This is subtraction. Subtraction is addition of the opposite. Don't forget that. The A minus B means that we're adding the opposite of B to A. So I'm going to change this subtraction to addition. And I'm going to change that -11 to a +11 because I don't write two signs next to each other like this in arithmetic. If I have two different signs, then they're going to give me a negative. But if I have two of the same sign, they're going to give me a positive. 27 plus 11 is going to give me 38. Now I'm on to problem number 12, 28 divided by 4 minus 7. So I have to do this division first. So a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 28 divided by 4 is 7. Negative 7 minus 7, both negatives. So it's going to stay negative. 7 plus 7 is 14. We're going to do some more translation into algebraic expressions or equations. The sum of, we're going to be adding the sum of negative 5 and 13, and the sum of can go in parentheses. That sum is increased by 11. Doesn't want us to simplify it. It just wanted us to write that expression out and what was being said. So the sum of negative 5 and 13 is increased by 11. The product of negative 11 and 8. There's different ways that we can write the multiplication symbol in math. I'm going to use a multiplication dot because it's not going to look anything like the letter X. Sometimes I'll also use an asterisk to represent multiplication. If it's hard to see the multiplication dot, I'll instead write asterisk like that to stand for multiplication. The quotient of 7 and the sum of negative 4 and m. Okay, so that's quotient means division. So I'm going to divide. I'm going to use a fraction bar to do that. Negative 4 and m as a sum. In parentheses is my divisor. It's the thing I'm dividing by when it says the quotient of the first number and the second number. The second number is always at the bottom of the fraction. The first number is always in the top of the fraction. The product of negative 3 and, oh, they forgot to put something there, is 51. So they're going to say like a number or X or something like that. And they forgot to type it in here. Oh, well. So, or it just didn't show up because I'm viewing this in the browser. So the product of negative 3, and we're going to say and a number that I'm going to call n, is 51. So that's what that one should look like, right? And you may have a different variable here. And then they want us to solve. Negative 6r is equal to 24. So we're going to divide both sides by a negative 6. R is equal to a negative, because a positive divided by a negative is a negative. 24 divided by 6 is 4. And we get R is equal to negative 4. That's it for this video. See you next time for a review of fractions.